vacation. This is just going to be a little ramble about our weekend away, our holiday, our weekend that we spent at Great Wolf Lodge. So, before we get into it, you know the drill, you know the deal. Gotta do some channel maintenance, channel hygiene. Channels are Tamagotchis. So, if you're new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you're old here, welcome back. Oh geez, if you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. And if you're old here, go double check, make sure you're subscribed, hit the like if you like, leave a comment. It could be anything related to the video. It could just be a hello, a few emojis, whatever, as long as it's cool and respectful. Hit the notification bell. As always, I've linked my tip jars down yonder in the description box. No pressure whatsoever, but every $1 or $2 helps. That is what allows me to continue to make content. Also, you are invited to my Patreon. I know not everybody can come, but you can't say you weren't invited. The link to my Patreon is down below, and I post a lot over there. If you want extra content, but you don't want to leave this platform, you can join YouTube memberships by clicking join below or going to my channel page, clicking the join button. That is content that is exclusive to YouTube members. Alright. So my mom had booked some rooms at Great Wolf Lodge for the weekend because we couldn't get together for Christmas, so this was going to be our belated Christmas, which is a really cool idea. But the drive for me is long. Not only that, but me and my husband had to take separate cars because he was working like the night before, and then he had to work. We had to take two cars. And my kid was gonna ride up with him. So I did the drive up alone, which was cool. I was listening to an audiobook called Lucky Red, which I really enjoyed. It's Western. It's a female-centered Western. But so I listened to that, but the drive is ugly. It's ugly anyway. In the Midwest, January, February, March, they're ugly. Everything is like dusty, salty snow. I don't even know how to explain it. The glare is annoying. The roads are filthy. But I took the way without tolls because I don't have an iPass anymore. And I was like, I'm just going to take my time. I'm going to stop at some Goodwills. Well, I didn't really come across any Goodwills. I came across one thrift store. And I went in, and I was looking around, and, like, what absolute crap for sale. Like, let's just say, like, a sweatshirt, that's worn, would be, like, $6.99. Like, a sweatshirt from Target that somebody wore for 5 years. $6.99. Like, what? No. $9.90. If anything was above a Target brand, it was like $9.99, $8.90. I'm like, who do you think you are? Whatever. I found 2 or 3 books, and then I got some DVDs because it was I think 3 DVDs for 5. I don't know. Anyway, that was more of a deal. So I got a couple DVDs for my kid. I think I got one adult DVD. Not adult DVD. Like one adult DVD. And I don't know. Anyways, disappointment. And it was freezing. When I tell you, I think it was 10 degrees or something that day. And windy. So, I finally arrive at Great Wolf Lodge at about 30 minutes before my mom she had to fly in town from Florida. So, I get in. The parking is crazy, okay? Mind you, 10 degrees or below or something. I don't know. I had to park clear across the parking lot and grab my stuff. And I had food. I had a cooler, so I had a dry bag of food, like a carry thing of food, and then a cooler, mini cooler. I had my purse, which y'all know, y'all see my purse, it's stuffed, and then my duffel, and my Vera Bradley duffel. So I kind of organized it to where like my duffel was riding on the cooler, but everything else was like on whatever. I trek through the lot, make it into the building, look around, kids running. It's crazy. It's chaos. Kids running everywhere. Parents. There's no seating, and I know that I have to sit and wait for my. Well, then I have to stand and wait for my mom. There's not a seat. There's no seats. I see like a fireplace, so I go stand by the fire because I just got done doing that like huge walk, right? So I like take all my stuff and I get over by the fire and I'm like soaking it up, and some guy comes up. It was a girl. She came up to me and she's like, you have to, back up from the. Okay. I start turning into a bitch at that point, right? Like I'm trying to just keep the bitch in. Just keep the bitch in. I'm like, okay. So I go but anywhere that you stand by the door because the door is opening, so it's freezing by the door, So finally, like as that lady walks back around, I'm like, isn't it weird that you guys don't have seating in here? Like it's a hotel lobby, and I thought I was gonna get there even before. Like I thought I was just gonna chill in a lobby and be able to read a book for like however long until my mom showed up. Absolutely not. She's like, yeah, we used to. She goes, I think there's seats downstairs, and she points at these stairs, and I'm like, people that have luggage aren't going down those stairs to find seating. And mind you, there wasn't seating. That was an arcade down there. Whatever. So I'm in there just trying to hold my inner bitch in. And then like a little bit later, some guy walks up, one of the guy employees walks up to me and he's like, are you waiting to check in? And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, it's kind of a long line. Anyway, my mom gets there and she's in line for a half hour, and then she's at the checkout thing for at least 20 minutes. So I was on my feet for how long? How long at that point was I on my feet? I was not happy. The cooler was not big enough for me to sit on. I already thought of that. It's like a mini cooler. So I'm like trying to be happy to see my mom and be really excited about this, but I'm at my end. Finally she gets the keys. She gives me my keys. I go find my room and I call my mom to see like what her room number was, and she's like, well, take a nap. Or she goes, well, what time are like your husband and your kid gonna be here? I said they're gonna be here in like 20 minutes because they were a couple hours behind me, but at that point it had been a couple hours. She goes, well, take a nap. If you guys have been following me, my mom keeps doing this. She keeps telling me to like take 20 minutes. I need at least an hour to take a nap. I was like, Mom, I can't take 20-minute naps. I repeat. So they arrive. I go get them. Tell my husband, and he had to walk in with stuff too. Oh no, I met him at the front. I got my kid and I grabbed a bunch of his and my kid stuff. Not a bunch, but like we had to get Christmas presents, everything. So I'm like grabbing a whole bunch of stuff, and then he gets to go park the car and bring in, a feasible load of his stuff or whatever. But I took the kid and some of the stuff off his hands because he could pull up into the circle, And my kid's really excited, so it's like, okay, it's time to put on my game face and just forget. Let's start over. Which we ended up walking around and showing him everything. We walked into the gift shop, and in the gift shop, we're just looking at all the overpriced, hotel gift shops, whatever. And two people walk up to us, and these people seemed very young. Like, I would have guessed them as my students, okay? But the guy was the manager. I don't know. Anyway, he was super nice. And he goes, we give out a certain amount of these pup passes. And, would you like one for him? And the pup pass is a pass that gets you a Build-A-Bear and 3 arcade games, some ice cream, some candy. I was like, oh, he'd love that. Thank you. So I'm like, okay, that's a good. We're going good again. So we took the pop pass, and then we went and we like looked through the windows so you could see like the pool, the water park area, whatever. We went and settled down for a little bit, and then my brother, his wife, and my nephew arrived. Of course, cousin time gets really exciting, so they start to get into their suits and stuff, and we get into our suits. My husband, I told him to pack the night before. He packed like last minute and forgot a bunch of shit, as I knew, but not my problem. Okay, so he has to go down there in tennis shoes, and we get down there. My kid is super afraid of the slides. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go on the slides, and he gets down there and he's scared of the slides. It took me a good half hour of like coaxing and telling him it would be fine and telling him I'd catch him, blah blah blah. My mom was trying to. He just wouldn't. My nephew came right in. My nephew was the one that said he wasn't going to do the slides, and he just goes right up and does the slides. I'm like, finally, I had to take my ass down this mini slide, this child's slide, okay? But it's fast. I had to take my full-grown ass down the slide and let everybody laugh at me, because my family's like that. Cracking up. And then he finally came down the slide. I'm like, okay. When he gets out from doing his first slide, I was standing there like, good job, because I had already got out, and I was like standing over there by, drying off. He skips my high five and goes right to his dad's high five. I was the one that went down and made an ass of myself. Skips my high five and goes and gives his dad a high five. Whatever. Then he did the slides for like 2 straight hours. Then we were gonna like all getting hungry. My daughter arrived, her husband and my granddaughter arrived, and my daughter forgot her swimsuit bottoms. So my son-in-law and my granddaughter came down, and my granddaughter blew right past me, went down the slide. I had to be like, hi 5 times before she's like, oh, hi. Anyway, needless to say, they were like having a blast for a long time, right? But we're all getting hungry, and so my mom says she's gonna order Giordano's, so I like Venmo her. I'm like, okay, I haven't had Giordano's in a lot. That used to be my little spot. So I ordered calamari and the house salad, which is what I always got there. I didn't even get the deep dish or anything. But they got deep dish. But deep dish takes a long time to cook. Okay, you gotta order your deep dish like pretty much after you ate lunch, and you'll be hungry by the time that deep dish is made. So by the time the deep dish is made, and then my order that they get over there, it's been like another hour and a half. Starving. I eat my salad. I ate my calamari, and I couldn't finish everything, so I was, trying to talk everybody into eating calamari. I didn't. My daughter eats calamari. My granddaughter ate some calamari. That was it. Nobody else would eat calamari. They all were like diving into their deep dish. I can't handle deep dish these days. I took some of my mom's. I guess she's got like these things. They're called digestive enzymes, and they worked. Because the fried calamari I was really worried about, but I didn't have any issues when I took that. My brother swears by it. And then we did our Christmas, so we let the kids open their presents and play with their presents. Now my teenager she got my son, but it was already opened at Christmas time. So my nephew and granddaughter got to open their Nerf guns in the hotel room. And as you can imagine, we all got attacked by Nerf guns in the spirit of joy. Okay. Then they started playing with some other stuff, and it kind of like calmed down a little bit, and they played for like another 2 hours. Like, it was really good. Cause my granddaughter is not their cousin, but they're all the same age, so it feels more like cousins than my son is an uncle. That's my son is my granddaughter's uncle, but my granddaughter is 1 month older than her uncle. Okay. Anyway, the grown-ups got to talk a little bit. My sister-in-law had picked up these like nuts and olives that I love so much. They're from Mariano's. I don't know what they're called. They're some kind of pepper olives. And then the nuts are like some kind of oily almond. I don't know. Can't remember. She knows I love them. She brought them, and we ate those. They were drinking their wine or their beers or whatever. And then I was ready for bed. So we went to bed, went back to our room, went to bed. I put on Small Soldiers on YouTube, which is a movie from the early 90s, I think, with Kirsten Dunst, where these toys come to life. I passed out. They passed out. We had two queens or two fulls or something, I don't know, but my husband and my kid were on one bed and I was on the other. I got a pretty good night's sleep. My kid woke up at 8, which he usually sleeps till 11, so we got going. We did Build-A-Bear. We did the Build-A-Bear the next day. Nobody wanted to swim right away, so we were the first ones down. We did the wave pool the second day, okay? But there's like a huge kid-like water park area. I was like, hey, Cruz, come on, let's like go explore this area. And I told my husband just to stay. I was gonna walk him around and then we'd be back. Like, if we could talk him into doing the other area, we would move seats. So I'm walking around, I'm showing him all this stuff. He's acting scared of everything. And I was like, it's not scary, look. And I walk up a couple stairs and I put my hand in the water to show him, like, it's just like a little waterfall thing. And I turn around, this kid's gone. This kid is gone. So I'm like, don't panic, don't panic. I do like close scan. I do like another, you just like expand your scan, right, with your eyes. I didn't see him, so I'm like, okay, let me go get my husband. As I'm walking to go get my husband, my kid's like walking back towards me, and I'm like, so you are really just gonna go walk all the way over to your dad, like, without telling me? Anyway, he got in a little bit of trouble for that. But we get back over to where I am. I think this is when this happened. Maybe it happened a little bit later. Maybe he played in the wave. I don't know. Yeah, he played in the wave. My mom showed up, and now that my mom was there, I was like, Mom, can you watch him? We're gonna go get these tacos from this taco stand over there. We get back. It took about 20 minutes to do that. We get back, and my mom's like, over by my kid, but there's like a little girl kind of by them sitting in the chair. And I see my mom say something to her. I'm like, that's kind of weird. My mom gets back over and she's like, that girl's been crying for her mom for at least 10 minutes. Okay, well, let me go talk to her. I go over there and talk to her. I said, do you know where your mom is? She's like, if I had to guess, she's like, you're younger than Cruz. She's probably 4. She doesn't know where her mom is. I like look behind her. There's a woman. I'm like, do you know where her mom is? No, nobody knows. Okay, so time to go get somebody. I said, Mom, keep an eye on her. I go find somebody. They come over and like they do this thing where they whistle and they wave. I guess like, hey, I found your kid, but nobody's coming. Okay, I'm talking it's about 5-10 minutes of that thing. Then she radios and another employee comes over and another little girl runs up to her and she's like, that's my friend. So I'm like, okay, are the parents like out in the wave pool keeping an eye on all the kids and don't realize they've like, what's going on right now? This is a 4-year-old that has been out of her parents' field of vision for 20 minutes at a water park. Then another 10 minutes go by. They finally decide to take the kid, but I'm like, they dropped the ball because they know she's got another little kid right here, a friend, right? That clearly doesn't have a apparent visual on her over here. You need to take both. They didn't take both of them, so I'm like, well, I'm not moving because now I gotta watch this other one. Finally, another 10 minutes go by at least, and we see some parents walk up with that little girl. Like nothing. The mom's got a full drink in her hand, dad's got a pizza. They have, eventually I see that they have other parents with them, so I'm like, were they at the bar? I gave her the nastiest look that I could. I mean, without starting shit. Like vocally, I was like, you disgust me. And I don't want to hear it's because you're drinking, because you're talking to a freaking alcoholic yourself. To not have, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. And for both of the parents, I would have gave the dad the look too. He didn't look at me. For both of the parents to think that's okay. Like y'all are just carrying on. Not and I see a bunch of texts that they were eating, like they were making sandwiches down at my brother's room, so I head over there. I wasn't hungry for like a sandwich, but I ate more of those olives and those nuts for sure. And just spent some time with the kids and chatting and stuff. They were watching the game. It's hard for me to be in a room where people are watching the game because A, I'm not interested in the game, and B, there's like all this hooting and hollering, and then there's like a separate conversation. I can't have a conversation because the conversations are about the game. I'm just like, I can do an hour or two, right? And then I head back and I come back and get the greatest sleep of my life in that hotel room with nobody but me. It was necessary. I still woke up at like 6:30 and did like some journaling and some planning and stuff, and then I was like texting like, let me know when y'all get up because I gotta say goodbye and hit the road to make it home before my husband has to go to work. Now, it would not have made sense for him to stay because he would have had to get up early and drive home, but if he gets home, then him and my kid will sleep in till like 11. He has to work like a 12-hour shift after that, so that wouldn't have been good. So I knew we had to do the 2-car thing, even though it sucked. So anyway, I say my goodbyes, give all my hugs. I gave, because I still had some stuff left on the puff pass, I gave it to my granddaughter. The puff pass, I gave it to my granddaughter. There was still like candy on there, ice cream on there. And then I hit the road. But listen, it was even colder that day. It was 0 degrees. And I went out with all my stuff, but there was snow everywhere, so like I couldn't pull my cool. It was terrible. It was terrible. By the time I got to the car, I wanted to die. And I loaded the truck up, but when I got inside my car, it felt warm. It wasn't. There's no way it was probably, outside of the car was 0. It was maybe like 5 degrees in the car, and I thought that was warm compared to, because it was so windy and so brutal. I felt like my ears were gonna fall off. I got in. GPS put me through the city that time, so it stunk because there was an accident, and as I said, I hate the expressways. And anyway, I had to use my window rinse, the antifreeze, whatever you call it, every 10 minutes. It was so nasty out. Drove home. Did I stop anywhere on the way home?